Alright, so today I'm going to show y'all how to make a garland using the new Unique in the Creek boards. What I have here is 3 Unique in the Creek boards. And what I did was I overlapped them and I zip tied them together. And I'm leaving it this, and I'll hold it up. And I'll hold it up closer so those of you that want your screenshots of how I have the ties placed. For this particular project, I chose to use tinsel ties, and it took 30 of them. So if you prefer zip ties, it'll take 30 zip ties. But I prefer to use tinsel ties for this project. So let me get this up close and tilt it for those of you that want screenshots of how the... Alright. So I did every other, like I said, it's 30 ties, and then I have 3 boards zip tied together. Alright, so let's get started. I took my mesh, and I went ahead and put it on because that's kind of starting to become like the boring part. I cut my mesh and ruffled it up, as we can see. And we're going to make this uber simple. I have some gift boxes. Hello, Miss Annette. Hey, Audra. Hey, Rose. I have some gift boxes that I'm going to put on here. And obviously, to make this as long as you want, you can put as many of these boards together. You can even take and add some boards to come down around your door. So, tons of possibilities. I've already cut the ribbon, so you don't even have to watch me do that. And I can't remember at this point how much ribbon I cut. So let's get started. It all breaks down to being careful in your design on how you do this to make it shippable. So I plan on adding 3 bows on top of this and 2 ornament boxes. Okay. The width on this, it's about 12 inches wide. But the depth isn't that much. So let me show you. When you go to ship this, because I use 3 if you're using this similar setup, okay? If you go to ship this, you're going to have 1 bow here, 1 bow here, and 1 bow here on the end. You're 3. Okay, so you'll have your bow here, and then your bow here, and then your bow in the middle. Okay? So what you would probably want to do for your customers so they know the sequence in which you design is just in permanent marker, put a 1, 2, and 3, and include the zip ties so they can zip tie these together. And then that way you can ship this in a 24-24-8 box. And that makes it extremely shippable, because then you can anchor these down and then everything arrives beautifully intact, your bows and everything. I personally, for my swags and my garlands like this, I buy a box and it's narrow. You know, it's 12 inches by 48, and I tie it down, and it costs the same to ship that box as it does the 24-24-8 box. So if you do ship a lot of garlands, go ahead and invest in the boxes. If you don't, then you're going to have to show your customer how to take it apart. I like this because I like these the best, because tie it down, your customer hangs it up. They're not having to fight with it to hang it up. Look at this, y'all. I mean, like, your customer, it's not twisting, it's not binding. Your customer hangs it up, and it's like hanging up a wreath. It's that simple. So, I did, Miss Lori, I did. I'm going to have to order more boards so I can make a corner swag. All right, so what I'm going to do is now I want to put my bow on. Well, I'm here to tell you that I have learned people make mistakes. I don't get bent out of shape about those mad faces. Whatever. You can't live life and not make people mad, right? Alright, so let me twist tie this down. Also, the fun thing about this is if you have difficulty knowing center and what not to place things, it kind of makes this a no-brainer to making your swags and things. Because I know which holes I put this bow in, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. So now I know that my bows are equally placed apart. It's kind of like using the Pro Bow. The measuring's already done for you. Hello, Miss Kimberly. And by the way, y'all can't beat the price. Like, you have to buy a nice 6 foot evergreen garland. They're pretty expensive. If you get a good one, they're about $20 on an average. So for $2 and for $5, $5.50, you get 2 boards. So this is really cost effective to make a garland this way. Hello, Miss Kay. How's everybody doing today? Hello, hello. You would think I didn't own a fluff box for my Pro Bow, but I do. This is a case of trying to teach an old dog a new trick. Because when I first bought my Pro Bow, I didn't have a fluff box. So I just fluffed on my wreath. It works, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. At least now I don't have to worry about dropping the fluff box on my toe when I'm done using it. Because I've heard of people doing that, right? Patricia, I'm finally starting to get better. I had to have some tests ran and I had to stop taking my medicine for 7 days to get the tests ran. So I started feeling really bad again. So I'm finally back on the uphill swing. Thank goodness. I'm starting to learn how to keep the pain under control. That's a learning curve in itself. I assure you, I don't ever forget anybody. All right, so let's make one more bow. Like I said, I'm gonna use the Pro bow to do this. So let me scoot this out of the way. And the reason I'm using the Pro bow once again is because I want all my bows to be identical. And so I use my Pro bow to make sure they're all identical, because that's like no-brainer work if I can find my pegs. Y'all, I'm not kidding. I just went through this. These pegs have to be here somewhere. I just made those bows. Nope, didn't put them in the pocket of that yet. I need to just put them up here when I'm done. Alright. I have too many pegs to lose them. Unfortunately, we keep moving things around for projects around here lately. And because I have the biggest table to work on, my stuff ends up being the victim of stuff getting moved all the time. Alright, so we're going to do a terry bow. I use 26 gauge wire to do mine. The Evil Bow Genius is right down there. I need to put my pegs, and that's where I'm going to put them. I'm going to put it in my more room on top when I'm done. I don't know if y'all seen this thing that I made. Let me show y'all really quick. I don't know why I didn't put my pegs back in it. Let me see if I can pan down and y'all can see. Can y'all see this see my little tool pouch right here? Got my scissors, my wire cutters, my wire. It's got enough room to put my pegs in. I just didn't do it. I don't know why. No clue why, but it's got my rotary cutter in it. I've got 4 pairs of scissors in there, like I need more. Hello, Miss Tony. How are you? But I will put my pegs back down there for future reference. Alright, so for those of you, how about I zoom in a little bit? Can y'all see that better? Can y'all see my pro bow better? All right. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna use the pro bow. I use the pro bow when I want my bows to be identical. All right. And I've already got my ribbon here on my spool holders. So this is what confuses people, so I try to go slow, because this is the part that usually intimidates people with the pro bow. So let me sit down, and let me grab a pipe cleaner, because the pipe cleaner will help you see where I'm going as I point. All right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I dovetailed my ribbon. Now, I like my ribbon tails to be the same length as my loops. It's just a preference for me for the terry bow. So what I'll do is I take my ribbon tail up to my first peg. So that's where I know my pinch is going to come in. If you want to know if you've got a good pinch, hey Tony, I've got several colors available right now. I even came out with a limited design for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I've got those in the shop right now. So check this out. So if you've got a good pinch, your ribbon's going to stand out just like that. So that's the indicator. Grab your first piece of wire. I put my wire in half. And now you're just going to take it, nothing, too special. And I'm going to tightly wrap that around my ribbon. Okay? With the bad side of the ribbon facing me. Alright? Halfway up the peg, you're going to hold your thumb. I have a new peg, and I keep forgetting that I have it. It's got the notch in it. I'll have to find it. All right. So you're going to hold your thumb. What I do, halfway up your peg. I'm halfway up my peg. Take your top wire, and you're going to run it clockwise around your peg. Okay? Run it all. Come down here. You got a little nail down here. Run it counterclockwise. And you don't need to run all the wire around the nail. Just enough. And then what's left, slide under your board. Okay? Take your tail, push it up out of the way. Now, make your first loop. Come back towards center. Now, this is where people get confused. Okay? So let me see if I can unconfuse you. At this point, when you come around, the good side of the ribbon is facing you. So when you make your loop, it's going to be the bad side. So you don't want that. So what you want to do at this point, you want to pinch your ribbon down and twist it. Twist it 180 degrees so the bad side is facing you. And then start your loop and then put your loop. Okay? Once again, coming down. The good side of the ribbon, if you came up like this, it ends up the bad side is facing out. You don't want that. So once again, you're going to do a pinch and a twist so that the good side is facing away from you. Okay? The good side is always facing away from you. pull your ribbon up here. That snoring, I swear to God, is Buster, y'all. That is Buster. Now, this is where a lot of people get confused, and this is where I'm going to bring the pipe cleaner in to explain it. So here's my wire. This is where people get confused where the second wire comes in. If I was to let go of my ribbon right now, it's going to come undone. Okay? So we're going to need this. That's why this is called the helper wire. So it's going to help us hold our ribbon so our bow doesn't come undone. So you slide your wire all the way underneath your bow. Just like so. And then you're going to fold it in half. And then you're going to pull this around to the front of your peg. Did y'all see that? Let me explain again. Take your helper wire underneath your ribbon, all the way underneath your bow. Fold it in half, pull it, and slide it all the way in front of your peg. See where it's at now? And then you'll twist it up. Now I'm going to do that same thing with this the wire, and then continue on. All right, now that I got my helper wire in, I'll cut my ribbon, and I'm going to cut that right there because that's a splice in the ribbon, so I don't mess with it later on. And now I'm going to continue on and get my next ribbon. I always start with my dovetail first. And once again, I like my tails to be as long as my loops. Once again, the good side of the ribbon is facing away from me. Pinch your ribbon up. This is really thick ribbon, by the way, y'all. Pinch your ribbon up. Place it into your wire, your helper wire. Tie it. And then start making your loops. Take your tail out of the way. Be very careful. Make sure you're going to center. And what I do to make my pinch, I take my finger underneath my ribbon. Notice how I grab it and bring my thumb. And then I use my thumb. I go up my ribbon a little bit and pinch my ribbon down. And you're just going to make a 180-degree turn with your ribbon. So the bad side faces you. Hold it there. And then make your next loop. And do the same thing again. Hold on, y'all. I just ripped a fingernail down pretty deep. Get it out of the way before it gets worse. All right. Now you can use any bow maker that you want to make bows. Obviously, bow maker, designer's choice. Like I said, I just prefer when I have to make 3 identical bows. I can do it with my Pro bow. They're all identical. The measuring's already done for me. Hey, Jackie, how are you doing today? Well, Jackie, I'm finally starting to feel like a human again. I'm having more good days than bad, thank God. Chica's being vocal today. Hello, Miss Teresa. How are you? Oh, that was another pair of scissors went to the ground. I'm doing good. But now that I finally went out of my house today for something other than a doctor's appointment. So that makes me happy. Alright, so now we're done. So we're going to take our wire off our peg. Take the top wire. Alright, I always double check. Make sure that I've wound all my wire off. Because if you don't, you might end up with your peg and your bow. Take it off of your nail. Now these two wires that you just took off, the one off the peg, one off the nail, you're going to take and use those wires to tighten your bow down so that it will fluff nicely. And we're going to cut our the helper wire. We no longer need it, so we're just going to cut it and get it out of the way. Trick to getting your bow off the pro bow, take the center peg out, and then your bow will lift right off. Like I said, this time I can't even tell you how many times I've searched for these here lately, so I'm just going to stick those back down into my more room on top so I won't go looking for them anymore. All right. So I'm going to show y'all, like I said, I have the fluff box. So for those of you that have the fluff box and you're just not sure how to use it. Okay. Here's your fluff box. This is your eye hook. Okay, make sure your eye hook is facing away from you when you do this. So kind of turn it if you need to. Take your wire, put it in your eye hook. Now you pulled your wire out to the right. If you're left-handed, you probably pulled it to the left. All right. What you want to do is swing your wire to the opposite side. If you came out to the right, you want to put it to the left of your screw. Okay. And then twist your wire around. This is creating your leverage so that your bow won't come off while you're fluffing it. Okay? Everybody with me? I start at the bottom. Some people start at the top. I start at the bottom and pull my loops and tails. Some people are too gentle with their fluffing, y'all. Y'all force your ribbon to do what you need it to do. Sometimes you got to get a little bit rough with it to get it to separate out. And that's fine. That's actually normal. So if you don't think that's normal, it is. And then I go back, roll my loops up so my bow's not flat. No, this is actually a really, really lightweight shirt. It's kind of like a beach weight. It's not cold, it's just a really, really lightweight shirt. And today I woke up and I was tired of wearing t-shirts. So, which is strange. I'm a t-shirt person, but today I, for some reason, woke up and wanted to throw all my t-shirts away. If you know me, that's actually, like, strange. True story. True story. You take control of your craft supplies, folks. You are in charge. All right. So, the way that these boards are designed, let me show you. I'll flip this over. It's actually, once again, no brain work. So, Lori made sure that these boards do have a designated center to them. So, once again, all the work was done for you. Right here in the center of each board, there's a place where two of your holes are closer together. All right. So guess what? That's where my bow is going to go. Oh, Miss Lori, you're still here. So now we'll just pop that bow down in there, and we are confident that it is dead in the center. Life doesn't get any better than that, right? And what I'm doing, y'all, is I'm taking my wire and I'm just tucking it back in to my board. Now we have our two little blank spaces easily filled. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach those. Pretty simple. Get my hot glue gun out here. And some pipe cleaners. And what I like to do is, I like my gift boxes to kind of be tilted up on an angle. So I'm going to take that into consideration. But I'm going to use 2 pipe cleaners, which will probably be too long, but that's fine. I'm just kind of going with the better safe than sorry, so you don't have to stand here and watch me put pipe cleaners together later on. So I'm just going to kind of spin those together. And I'm going to kind of cheat at this so y'all don't have to watch me too long. And I'm going to grab my pick machine. If you have one, you can utilize this. Otherwise, you're just going to need to poke a hole. But when you're dealing with styrofoam, this is just easier. So this corner has my 2 tails, so I'm just going to flip this around here. And I'm going to dab some glue on my pick, because the teeth for the pick will help hold it in there. And I'm going to go right here in this corner and stab that in. Like so. And we're going to do that twice, because when you do things twice, it's twice as nice. Yeah, if you wanted to make this a centerpiece, it's pretty easy, y'all. Instead of taking the glue boxes to the side, the box, stick them up like that. So if you've got a really long table, yep, I put the picks on the I put the pick on the pipe cleaner. Yep, so if you wanted a centerpiece, you just squat the boxes down in there like that. Once again, Lori's already done the work. I know exactly where center is at to put my boxes. So I'm just going to tilt this up a little bit. Say it 3 times fast. Yeah, thank you. And the pipe cleaner was too long, which is kind of what I thought, but that's okay. Better safe than sorry for a few cents, right? Thank you. I was like, love my hair. Then it occurred to me, duh, Jackie, you just stuck your head all up over everything. Of course they're going to see your hair. I was like, where are you seeing my hair at? These make it super easy, and then when you go to hang them, y'all, you can just use command strips to do it. I'm going to tilt that box just a little bit. Now come back and fuss the ribbon up just a bit. And it's just that easy, y'all, to make a beautiful swag to go in your home using Unique in the Creek boards, y'all.